the garden of ancient stone, thinking that I made it on my own. I reached for the fruit on the highest bough, but I couldn't find the rhythm or the how. The world was a wall, tall and wide, with no place for a little soul to hide. But then I felt the strength beneath my feet, a solid foundation in the city heat. It's a quiet vibration, a pulse from the past, a long distance echo that was built to last. I'm not just a spark, I'm part of the flame, carrying a light with 1,000-year name. If I have seen further than the rest, baby, in this lo-fi world of pure discovery, it's because I'm standing on the shoulders of giants, finding my peace and a soulful defiance. Yeah, they built the mountain, they drew the map, I'm just the bridge across the final gap. The dreamers, the ones in the dust, they left us the iron and they left us the rust, but they left us the wisdom to see the design, to draw a new circle and a bolder line. I'm looking at the stars from a heavy height, gazing past the borders of the ordinary night. It ain't my stature, it ain't my grace, it's the titans who held up this hollowed space. You know, we like to think we're the authors of our own story, that we're the ones who invented the light. But look down, beneath your feet are the bricks they laid, beneath your thoughts are the words they prayed. We're just travelers on a road that was cleared a long time ago. Every vision, every breakthrough, it's a gift from someone who stood here before you. Don't forget who's carrying you. Look further. This lo-fi world of pure discovery, it's because I'm standing on the shoulders of giants, finding my peace and a soulful defiance. And this lo-fi space, we find the view, building the old into something new. Keep looking higher, baby, shoulders, I see it all, the giants. Sitting at the corner of the neon street, waiting for the world to lay a gift at your feet, checking every pocket for a miracle or two, wondering why the skyline isn't shining for you. We look at the flag and we look at the wall, waiting for the kingdom to answer the call, but the engine is silent and the garden is dry, while we're looking for a handout from an empty sky. It's a quiet vibration, a shift in the lens, where the private dream and the public one blends. The rhythm of the city's a collective beat, waiting for the shuffle of your own 2 feet. Ask not what your country can do for you tonight. Underneath the soft glow of the urban light, ask what you can do for the soul of the place, for the common ground and the human race. Yeah, don't look at the map for what you can take. Ask what kind of rhythm you're willing to make. The pavement is a canvas, the people are the ink. It's a much bigger picture than you probably think. You can't be a passenger on a moving train and complain about the travel in the heavy rain. Put your shoulder to the wheel, put your heart in the work, in the little hidden corners where the shadows lurk. A country isn't paper, country isn't stone. It's the harvest of the seeds that you've actually sown. You know, it's easy to be a consumer, to sit back, to take, to demand, to wait for the check to arrive. But a home, a nation, it's not a vending machine. It's a living, breathing symphony. And a symphony doesn't happen if everyone is just listening. You gotta pick up the horn. You gotta find your note. Instead of looking at the mirror, look out the window. What can you bring to the table? What can you contribute to the groove? The question is the answer. For the common ground and the human race. Yeah. In this lo-fi space, we find the beautiful burden of a true liberty. Ask a question, baby, let it roll. Ask not what, but what you can do for the whole. Living in the shadow of a dusty old ghost, following the leader, being a gracious host to 1,000 opinions that aren't even yours. Locked inside a house with wide open doors. The comfort of the cage is a heavy kind of sleep. The promises of others are the ones you keep. But the stars are waiting for a different kind of light, beyond the safe horizon of the intellectual night. It's a quiet vibration, a glitch in the dream, waking up the spirit from the heavy scheme. The world is a question, the answer is a choice, waiting for the rhythm of your own inner voice. Have courage to use your own reason, baby. In this lo-fi world of pure contingency, that's the motto of the light, the soul of the glow, the enlightenment groove that you gotta know. Yeah, Sapere Aude, dare to be wise, break the heavy velvet that's over your eyes. guardians are shouting from the towers of the state, telling you to follow and telling you to wait. But an unexamined rhythm is a hollow kind of beat, and the path of the pioneer is under your feet. No more tutelage, no more hand to hold. Turn the letter, the giving into mental gold. The logic is the fire and the mind is the wood. It's time to be the author of your own great and good. You know, it's easy to be a follower. It's comfortable to let someone else draw the map. But enlightenment isn't a gift you receive, it's a liberation you claim. It takes nerve to look at the world and say, why? It takes guts to trust the engine in your own head. Don't be afraid of the light you're carrying. Have the courage. Dare to know, dare to have courage. Own your reason. Enlighten soul. The sun is creeping through the dusty blinds, tracing patterns on the maps of our minds. Another morning, another chance to breathe, but we're looking for a reason to never leave. The bed is warm and the shadows are long. We're humming along to a half-finished song. But the second hand is a silent blade, cutting through the promises we haven't made. It's a quiet vibration, a pulse in the wrist, a beautiful moment that shouldn't be missed. The clock isn't a master, it's just a friend, telling us the story that has no end. A man who dares to waste 1 hour of time is committing a quiet, a velvet crime. He hasn't discovered the value of life beyond the struggle and the daily strife. Yeah, 60 minutes of pure solid gold, the greatest story that's ever been told. I see him waiting for the weekend to start, with a hollow beat in a heavy heart, trading their diamonds for a handful of sand, letting the magic slip right through their hand. 1 hour of dreaming, 1 hour of grace, to find the rhythm in this frantic place. Don't throw the silver in the deep blue sea. Time is the soul of your liberty. You know, they say time is money, but they got it wrong. Money comes and goes, but an hour, An hour is a piece of your soul. You can spend it on the shadows, or you can spend it on the light. If you can throw away 60 minutes like it's nothing, then you haven't realized what a miracle it is just to be here. Don't let the sand run out. Wake up. A man who dares to waste 1 hour of time is committing a quiet, a velvet crime. He hasn't discovered the value of life beyond the struggle and the daily strife. In this lo-fi space, we find the now, finding the why and the soulful how. Cherish the rhythm, baby, let it roll. 1 hour, the value of it all. Don't waste it. The mountains look so steady in the morning light, but even the stones are moving through the night. The giants of the past, they left a heavy print, but they couldn't see the future in the carbon tin. You can build a fortress, you can lock the gate, try to hold the rhythm and try to outrun fate. But the wind is blowing through the cracks in the wall, and the rigid timber is the first one to fall. It's a quiet vibration, a slide in the key, learning how to navigate the open sea. Muscle is a memory, logic is a tool, but the river is the master of the modern school. It's not the strongest of the species that survive. It's not the genius keeping the flame alive, nor the most intelligent with the high degree, but the one most responsive to the mystery. Yeah, the ones who bend when the storm starts to blow are the only ones left to watch the garden grow. I've seen the heavy hitters lose their steady grip because they wouldn't lean when the floor started to shift. And the ones who knew it all, they got left behind, trapped in the borders of a narrow kind of mind. It's about the maybe, it's about the now, the fluid conversation and the subtle how. If you can't change the step, you can't dance to the beat, and the world's gonna move right under your feet. You know, we spend so much time trying to be the best, the smartest, the toughest, the most unmovable. But the universe doesn't care about your armor. It doesn't care about your IQ. It cares about your flow. Can you pivot? Can you breathe when the oxygen changes? Survival isn't a trophy for the powerful. It's a gift for the flexible. Don't be a statue. Be the water. It's not the strongest of the species that survive. It's not the genius keeping the flame alive, nor the most intelligent with the high degree, but the one most responsible Sitting in the velvet of a midnight blue, thinking about the ghost of what they did to you. Brewing up the anger like a heavy tea, locked inside a prison where you hold the key. You're counting every day and you're keeping the score, while the shadows start to dance on the kitchen floor. Got a fire in your chest that you refuse to tame, burning up your spirit just to scream a name. It's a quiet vibration, a glitch in the pulse, trying to find a rhythm that is something else. But the glass is in your hand and the liquid is dark, and you're waiting for the ending of a distant spark. Resentment is a poison, baby, don't you know? A bitter kind of vintage that you shouldn't let grow. You're drinking it down and you're waiting for the fall, hoping that your enemy feels it all. Yeah, you're taking the hit, you're swallowing the lead, while they're sleeping like a baby in the silk-lined bed. It's a funny kind of logic, it's a twisted design, to burn your own house just to see them go blind. The grudges are anchored in a rising tide, taking up the space that you have inside. They moved on to the party, they moved to the sun, while you're still reloading a rusted out gun. The ice is melting down in a lonely glass, watching all the beautiful moments pass. You know, we think hate is a weapon. We think if we hold on to it tight enough, if we make it sharp enough, that eventually reach across the city and find them. But look at your hands. You're the one holding the blade by the edge. You're the one drinking the cup. They aren't coughing, they aren't hurting. You're just fading away in the jazz. Pour it out, baby. It was never for them. It was only killing you. Resentment is a poison, baby, don't you know? A bitter kind of vintage that you shouldn't let grow. You're drinking it down and you're waiting for the fall, hoping that your enemy feels it all. In the slow-fi space, we find the release, trading the poison for a moment of peace. Let the grudge go, baby, let it roll. Drinking poison, hoping it kills them. It's only you. I stepped outside to catch my breath, away from the noise and the fear of death. The city's humming a restless tune under the glow of a silver moon. But I look up past the neon haze into the depths of the ancient maze. A billion diamonds on a velvet floor, leaving me wanting something more. It's a silence that's louder than a shout, the kind of beauty we can't live without. It's a quiet vibration, a pull in the spine, a connection to a grand design. The more I look, the more I see the reflection of infinity. Two things fill my darkness out there and the truth in here. The only two things that make the vision clear. Now I turn the light back onto the soul, trying to make the fragmented whole. Beyond the want and beyond the need, there's a silent code, a sacred seed, a compass pointing to the up and the right. Even in the middle of a pitch black night, it doesn't ask for a trophy or a name. It just burns steady like a holy flame. The outer world is a giant silver sea, but the inner world is the masterpiece of me. You know, sometimes you feel so small, just a speck of dust in a galaxy that doesn't care. You look at those stars and you feel lost, but then you feel that tug, that quiet, stubborn voice inside that says, be kind, just be true. And suddenly, you're not small at all. You're a mirror for the whole universe. One law written in light across the heavens, and another written in blood and spirit in your own heart. Admire it. Live it. With a wonder so deep, the kind of secrets that the angels keep. The starry sky above me, infinite and wide, and the moral law, baby, living right inside. In this lo-fi space, we find the all cosmos and the inner spark. The starry sky below within. I'm home again. Looking at the valley so lush and so green, the easiest path that I've ever seen. No hills to climb, no wind in the face, just a slow steady walk in a comfortable place. The low-hanging fruit is a sweet kind of prize, but it doesn't put a sparkle in a dreamer's eyes. We could stay on the ground where the oxygen's thick and never learn the magic of a cosmic trick. It's a quiet vibration, a pull in the chest, a hunger for the trial and a hunger for the test. The shore is a safety, the shore is a lie. When there's a silver giant hanging in the sky, we choose to go to the moon, baby, don't you see? In this lo-fi world of pure discovery, not because it's easy, not for the slide, but because it's hard and there's nowhere to hide. Yeah, we're aiming for the crater, we're aiming for the height, choosing the struggle in the middle of the night. The math path is a mountain, the metal is cold. But that's how the greatest of stories get told. If it didn't take a sweat, if it didn't take a tear, it wouldn't be a rhythm that we need to hear. The jazz is in the tension, the funk is in the grit, the fire in the engine that we finally lit. We're measuring our soul by the weight of the task, putting on the helmet and the silver mask. You know, anyone can walk a flat road. Anyone can sing a song with only one note. But that's not why we're here. We don't want the plateau, we want the peak. We want the thing that makes our hands shake, the thing that demands everything we've got. Because the heart is what refines the gold. The heart is what makes us human. So, pack your bags. We're leaving the gravity behind. Next stop, the sea of tranquility. To go to the moon, baby, don't you see? In this lo-fi world of pure discovery. Not because it's easy, not for the slide, but because it's hard and there's nowhere to hide. In this lo-fi space, we find the how. Launching the spirit right here and now. Keep climbing, baby, let it roll. I see you staring at the sepia screen, caught in the middle of a used-to-be dream, polishing the trophies of a distant yesterday, watching the present just crumble away. The dust is settling on the choices you made in a beautiful garden that's starting to fade. You're holding the anchor while the river is wide, afraid of the rhythm of the turning tide. It's a quiet vibration, a shift in the light. The morning is coming for the middle of the night. You can't keep the sunset from slipping the frame. The sky never whispers the same secret name. Change is the law of life, baby, can't you feel the spinning and the turning of the velvet wheel? If you look to the past or the right here and now, without the what's next and the somewhere and how, you're certain to miss where the future is heading. In the kaleidoscope light that the morning is shedding. The now is a shadow that's already gone. The then is a ghost that you're leaning upon. If you lock all the windows and you lock all the doors, you'll never hear the ocean on the distant shores. The jazz is in the motion, the funk is in the change, rearranging the stars in a different range. Don't be a statue in a world made of steam. Keep your eyes on the horizon of the next big dream. You know, we get so comfortable in the already known. We build houses out of our memories and we call the present the end of the road. But life isn't a destination, it's a transition, it's a law. like gravity, like the beat. If you're looking behind you, or even just at your feet, you're gonna miss the dawn. The future isn't waiting for you to be ready. It's already happening. Turn your head, catch the wave. Change is the law of life, baby, can't you feel the spinning and the turning of the velvet wheel? If you look to the past or the right here and now, without the what's next and the somewhere and how, you're certain to miss where the future is heading. Don't miss the future, yeah. It's a law, baby. Stay in the flow. In this lo-fi space, we find the next, written in the rhythm of a cosmic text. Eyes on the horizon, baby, let it roll. The law of life, don't look back. The future is calling. The mountain's got a shadow that stretches for a mile. I'm looking at the summit without a single smile. The giant walls of logic are closing in so tight, telling me I'm crazy to even start the fight. It's a wall made of maybe and a ceiling made of no, with nowhere for a dreamer or a funky soul to go. The map is just a blur and the compass is a lie, staring at a mountain that is touching up the sky. It's a quiet vibration, a glitch in the wall, waiting for the spirit to finally make the call. The friction of the starting is the hardest part to play, but the rhythm of the motion starts to wash the fear away. It always seems impossible, baby, don't you see? In this lo-fi world of pure uncertainty, until the job is finished, until the work is through, until you're standing on the peak and looking at the view. Yeah, the impossible is just a ghost in the sun that disappears the second that the thing is finally done. Step by step, we're moving through the thick and heavy mist, checking off the items on a monumental list. One note becomes a phrase and one chord becomes a song. Funny how the hopeless didn't stay that way for long. The logic of the finish line is different from the start. It's the magic of the muscle and the courage of the heart. The wall becomes a window, the shadow becomes a light, and the giant is a pebble when you finished up the fight. You know, we spend so much time staring at the no. We let that word build a house in our heads. We look at the finish line from the starting block and we think there's just no way. But the thing is, the view from the bottom is a lie. It's a trick of the light. Every masterpiece looked like a mess at midnight. Every summit looked like a dream from the valley. Don't believe the impossible. It's just a word for things we haven't finished yet. Keep swinging. already there. The air is heavy and the room is cold. A story of a shadow that's getting old. I feel the shiver running down my spine, tracing every border, every jagged line. My hands are shaking in the velvet dark, looking for a reason, looking for a spark. It's easy to stay frozen, easy to stay still, while the ghosts of the maybe break down the will. It's a quiet vibration, a glitch in the breath, walking through the valley of a little death. But the rhythm doesn't stop just because you're afraid. It's the sound of a promise that the spirit made. Courage is not the absence of fear, baby, in this lo-fi world of uncertainty. It's the triumph over it, the steady climb, moving through the static one beat at a time. Yeah, the fear is just the weather, not the sky, and we're gonna keep on walking, you and I. Brave ones aren't the ones who don't feel the sting. It's the way they carry the weight of the thing, to feel the hollow ache and the pounding heart, and still find the strength to make a brand new start. It's a syncopated step in a world of straight lines, finding the gold in the dark, heavy minds. You don't erase the worry, you don't hide the scar, you just use the friction to see who you are. You know, we got it all wrong. We think a hero is someone who's never scared, someone made of stone. But stone doesn't grow, stone doesn't breathe. Real courage, it's messy, it's loud. It's your knees knocking together while you reach for the door. It's acknowledging the giant in the room and deciding you're gonna stay for the song anyway. It's not about being empty, it's about being full of fear and doing it anyway. That's the triumph, that's the win. Let it roll. It's not the absence, it's the triumph. Still standing. fog is thick against the window pane. A silent ghost is whispering your name. You're checking all the locks in the heavy doors, watching all the shadows on the hardwood floors. Your pulse is racing like a runaway train, looking for a shelter from a phantom rain. The monster's in the corner, tall and wide, but there's nowhere for a worried soul to hide. It's a quiet vibration, a glitch in the night, a heavy dark curtain blocking out the light. But if you look closely through the velvet screen, there's nothing standing there to be seen. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself, baby. In this lo-fi rhythm, in this jazz degree, it's a mirror in the dark, it's a trick of the mind, leaving all the courage and the truth behind. Yeah, the ghost is just a vapor, the wall is just a cloud. Don't let the silence get too loud. We build a prison out of what if, and maybe driving on spirits a little bit crazy. The chains are made of static, the bars are made of smoke, a heavy kind of burden, a long distance joke. Fear is a salesman with a hollow prize, selling you a blindfold for your own two eyes. But the sun is still burning behind the gray, waiting for the tremors to just fade away. You know, we spend so much energy running from the dark. We turn on every light, we hold our breath, we wait for the sky to fall. But look at your hands, they're steady. Look at the room, it's empty. The only thing actually hurting you is the feeling that you might be hurt. It's the dread, the echo, the shadow of a shadow. Once you realize the monster is just your own reflection, well, the game is over. You're free. It's a mirror in the dark, it's a trick of the mind, leaving all the courage and the truth behind. In this lo-fi space, we find the core. We aren't afraid of the shadows anymore. Let the heartbeat steady, baby, let it roll. Just fear itself, nothing more. Open the door. Burning the oil in the dead of the night, chasing the shadows with a flickering light. It's more than a paper, it's more than a grade. It's the sharpening edge of a beautiful blade. They can lock up the doors and they can build up the wall, but a mind that is open is the greatest of all. You don't need a fortress, you don't need a gun, when the battle for justice has already begun. It's a quiet vibration, a fire in the brain, breaking the link of a heavy old chain. The world is a puzzle, the pieces are wild, waiting for the hands of a visionary child. Education is the weapon, baby, don't you see? The most powerful tool in our history. the light in the dark, the key to the sun. The work of the world is never quite done. Knowledge is power, but it's more like a shield, protecting the dreams that we cultivate and yield. From the streets of the city to the dust of the plain, it's the rhythm of growth and the end of the pain. It rewrites the story, it redraws the map, closing the distance in the poverty gap. A soulful revolution without any sound, lifting the spirit right up from the ground. You know, they say the pen is mightier than the sword, but it's the mind behind the pen that does the heavy lifting. You want to change the world? You don't need to tear it down. You need to outthink the shadows. You need to learn the language of the future. It's the only weapon that doesn't leave a scar. It only leaves a light. Pick up the book, sharpen the soul. Education is the weapon, baby, don't you see? The most powerful tool in our history. You can use it to change, you can use it to grow, turning the stop into a soulful goal. Change the world, change the world, yeah. In this lo-fi space we find the why beneath the velvet of an open sky. In your hands right now. I'm standing at the crossroads of a private choice, looking for a rhythm, looking for a voice. I could take the shortcut, I could play the game, hide behind the shadows and the lack of a name. But the air is heavy with the silent demand, like 1,000 mirrors stretching across the land. If I pull this thread, does the fabric unwind? Or is it a pattern that can heal all mankind? It's a quiet vibration that pulses in the dark. Every single emotion leaves a permanent mark. It's not just a moment, it's not just a whim. It's the ocean of the spirit where we all have to swim. Act only by the maxim, baby, don't you see? In this lo-fi world of pure integrity, by which you can will it steady and true to become a universal law for me and for you. Yeah, if the whole wide world followed in your trace, would it be a symphony or a cold empty space? No special exceptions, no, just this once. The rhythm of the cosmos doesn't favor the dunce. If you steal a little light, then the sun goes gray. If everybody does it at the end of the day, the funk is in the balance, the jazz is in the fair. A collective kind of magic in the midnight air. You're the architect of the road that we walk, the truth behind the whispers and the way that we talk. You know, it's the ultimate test of the soul. Before you move, before you strike the note, ask yourself, what if my secret became the world's standard? If everybody did exactly what I'm doing right now, would the music keep playing? Or would the record just skip and die? You aren't just one person. You're the lawmaker for the whole damn universe. The groove clean. Act only by the maxim, baby, don't you see? In this lo-fi world of pure integrity, by which you can will it steady and true to become a universal law for me and for you. In this lo-fi space, we find a way by the maxim, the beautiful burden of the true liberty. Make it universal, baby, let it roll. Only the maxim for everyone.